Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I'll be reviewing a teaching game that I played with one of my students. My student is 9Q and we played a 6-stone game. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Approach. This is all fine. Approach there, kick and jump. And the kick really is because black already has a stone at D10. This is when you have the white's key spot here, this is a good time to kick. But if you are going to kick and attack, it's slightly better to play high because you're putting more pressure on the 2 stones. Now, I'm not saying this move is bad whatsoever. This is a perfectly fine move. But we'll see black starts to try to attack these 2 stones even more. And it would have been a lot better if you had played high to begin with. So the fact that black played low here on the 3rd line, black should not be as trying to attack these 2 stones. Because when white goes here, this would be a time I would be okay with letting white connect on the 2nd line. Here is actually, black should kick here, and even if white jumps, we just do something else. Maybe we kick on the bottom now, or maybe we play something up top. The idea being the left side is actually not that big, and even white surrounding the left side is not going to be that easy. So, and even if it could be easy, like let's say this does surround the left side, we can always make exchanges like this, and all of a sudden the left side, right, even moves like this become sente if white wants the left side. See, the left side, especially when that's all white has, is not that big. So if you're going to play low, you kind of have to follow up in that regard. Whereas if you went here, and then let's say white went there, and then you went here, now you're putting more pressure on the 2 stones. Because now it's not as easy for white to run out. In the game, I played here, black played there, and if you are going to play a move there, it is better to simply play C11, simply because of this move at B10 that white has. How would you answer this if you're black? Well, obviously you can just block, right? Pretty simple response. But if you play here and white plays B10, how do you respond? Because if you kick, then when white stands up, white's hurting your shape, right? You have to respond again, which is pretty painful. Yeah, even if you did this, always keep in mind, right? We could have started with C11 and it's like this happened. I went here and then I went this, right? So that wouldn't be good. Even if we try to do a move like this, right? Still leaves some bad agi. It means this move threatens to connect. There's weaknesses here. And the thing with this move threatening to connect, it means now there's a lot of bad agi in the corner. White would probably start with this move. So yeah, you could maybe play here, but since you have a knight's move here, and you are threatening to connect, but it means you have really bad shape if white were to play the goblin's nose here. Or if you bump like this, obviously white is hitting that key spot there. White would leave it now, of course, but there's a potential weakness here. Even white could just separate in some cases. So yeah, if you play this one though, when white plays B10, you just have a very simple, I'm just going to block. So yeah. Don't allow this, especially once white has played here. Like if white didn't have a stone there, it's probably better, or it's okay to do this. But since white does have a stone here, white's very much looking at B10, and white gets that pretty soon actually. So white just slides and play there, and then play here. Yes, this is a common order of moves that you see in even games, but it is definitely something white looks for in handicap. And it's because white is looking to play B3 next. If black does something else, playing B3 means black cannot block. If black blocks, there is weakness at D2. This threatens to cut at C2 or connect at F2. And I always mention in a lot of my videos, shapes that work somewhere oftentimes work somewhere else. So everybody knows that here, or even if we, let's say, started with this shape, right? And white comes in, or it could be pincer and then white leaves. leaves it. But how can black answer? Black can play here, and there's a connection here. There's a way for black to handle whatever white does. And the same thing is true in this kind of variation. Like if black connects, and we play here, there is a connection here. It's the same shape, even though in the other example it was the third and fourth line, and here we're on the second and third line, and it's even flipped. It means if black hanes, we can play tiger's mouth. And now we're either going to cut here, and if we're actually already captured, or if black connects, we can break through. So black can't go there, even if black just plays here. We're connected. So yeah, this just automatically works. But if we try to prevent this, when we cut, the key is white needs to be able to capture these stones here, or at least black cannot be able to play here for this to work for white. In this case, black can't. So if black has to go here, obviously white is gaining here, even if black can capture these two stones. And so this means if black can't do this, black's group is not in danger per se, but it is somewhat floating. If you can't do this, you don't want to just defend here. This is already a good enough exchange for white. So if you can't play a b2, it's better just to play elsewhere. But still, this is a nice kind of sequence white can look for by getting this move into this move. And obviously white wants h3 because it does somewhat help o3. It means if black plays something, we can play l4 and start to connect our bottom. So this is a very common technique. You'll see sometimes in even games, but definitely in handicap games. And so again, because it's not an immediate danger, black could go elsewhere. I'd recommend black has the right idea, I think. Black plays here. This is the right idea, but in this case, the left side is actually pretty strong. Remember, white can play b10 at any point, and it's almost sente, right? And white can play b3 at any point. So the left side is actually pretty strong. But the bottom side for white is where black wants to play. So instead of playing this kind of flexible, loose move, black should be more aggressive or more contactful, if that's even a word. Basically, black should try to get forcing moves on the left side in an attempt to then get a move on the bottom. Because if you just play here in the game, I just jump, and I'm actually isolating the left side there. But if I do this now, or black does this, now white has to figure out what to do. Because directly black's threatening to push and cut, which is very painful. If white tries to refute it though, this would be what black wants, right? Black would then be getting stones facing the bottom, but not only that, but also helping their lower left group. So if white has to play a move, all of a sudden now black can play on the bottom. So yeah. Whereas you do this one like this, you do have a stone here, but it's not as thick as, not that variation. Oh, my variation's lost. Where is it? There it is, this one. Yeah, it's not as thick as these two stones here. So yeah, in this case, we have two groups, right? Which group do we want to attack? The bottom or the left? We want to attack the bottom? Okay, then we can lean on the left side. That's general. That's attacking 101. Yeah. And if white just connects to not allow black to have forcing moves, well, now you connecting is going to be in a much more solid, better way. Like right here, white could say, oh, I know what black's doing, let me fix. But now you connecting is a much more solid way to play. And again, if white tries to break through, then you're going to get the move on the bottom. And once again, you're getting some thickness here and helping your bottom side. So yeah, and even this you could consider a good exchange and just play something else in the corner as well. So yeah, lots of ways to play. Basically, you want to do a more forceful way than just jumping out here. Again, I think this is the right direction, but when there's a clear, obvious target, then it's better to be more forceful on the nearby stones. Black attaches. So again, this is kind of wrong thinking here because you don't want to play on the bottom, or at least touch the stones on the bottom, because you really just help them connect. You really want to preserve that aji if possible. And even black double hanes, which again, you can see is forcing me to connect. So again, I think it's okay if you just stand up, because I'm probably going to bump. But now I have a 4-space extension here. And so that means there's a very obvious weakness here. Because as opposed to like this one, right, where there's an obvious connection, this kind of 3-space extension here, which we looked at in the lower left. 4 spaces, not so much, right? There's no way if I go elsewhere and black plays a move in, for me to comfortably connect my stones, or even black might start with this one, actually. Even if white kicks, since I have a stone at h5, white really needs to prevent that somehow. So this is a case where kicking would actually be good for black here, or helping black more than helping white. So yeah, when black goes here though, you can see it's helping me make that shape. Now, even though you can come in, my shape is much better because you force me to connect. And again, this would be possible. Like let's say black played here, right? And then white went elsewhere. Now it would be possible to play this way because now maybe we are going to go for the other side, right? Maybe we play something like this and then we go after the left side. Like this is possible too. Make thickness on the bottom because we can attack something on the other side. But in this case, when black gets thickness in the game, it's hard to see how black can use it. Like this is the end result here. How can black use these moves black had just made? Because the important thing to keep in mind, it wasn't like black was in danger immediately. Black could play b3 and be alive at any point. At any point. So it's not like black needed to make these exchanges to live. It is a nice shape, but now it's like, okay, how can I use this thickness I just made? Because I now gave up an attack on the bottom. And it is true there is a cut here, but if white can just give up the one stone, and even like, let's say, because you can't push and cut yet. So if you have to play a move like this, P2 might actually be a thank you move for white. The reason why white has to play P2, by the way, is there's a push and cut here, where they're threatening to cut here. So if you capture, black's going to be able to cut white apart. But as opposed to just connecting, which only has one purpose, technically it does mean you're putting these 3 stones in, like taking away liberty. So it technically has more than one purpose, but P2 is a much better move because it makes R3 much bigger. And again, not that this is a horrible result for black, but yeah. And there is a variation here that's very complicated if black goes here next. So technically, white could try this, but for the sake of this video, I'll just say white will probably play this way. The reason why white doesn't want to fix per se, though, is white's going to get over-concentrated, potentially. So like if white stands up here, then black's going to kick. And if white stands up, then it's, again, very over-concentrated. So white actually doesn't want to fix there because white can get over-concentrated. Yeah, so white will just have to, whatever black does, especially this early on when we're only at move 24, white needs to think big here. And think big, I kind of did. So I went from this direction, but realistically, this is the direction I should go from. Again, I'm not worried about any immediate weakness here, whether black cuts this way or this way. Even though black does have thickness, just because, again, I have b3 at any point, which means my left side is basically alive. And because, remember, black played low here, if black tries to run out, I'm now hitting both sides. If black jumps here, I can look to shoulder hit here. And this is kind of the dream come true for white in this shape. But if black fixes, then I'm able to surround. So, yeah, this is the wrong direction for me. It's also just smaller. It means, okay, black could actually start thinking about giving up these 2 stones. Because the idea is, let's say I go from this direction, right? And black says, okay, you can have those stones. Let me just let you have them. Well, if black does do this, okay, black can get some thickness, potentially, but, at least white is capturing without any moves spent on the inside. But by going here, I've actually made it smaller, because now, if I do the same thing, well, now you can see it's the same exact thing, but I added a stone here. I made my own territory smaller. So always keep that in mind. When white plays here, if white captures these 2 stones, it is now smaller. So I should at least come from this direction first. Now if black adds a stone, then I can play under. Now black has made 2 stones, 3 stones. Now it's slightly bigger. And obviously I don't think right now white can do it. White would still come out somehow. But now when I do b10 later, it's going to be more impactful because black is now more indebted in these left side stones. So I need to ask first, okay, black, do you really care about these stones? And if black says yes, then later I can look to play b10. But to do it immediately makes the left side smaller. But black does run out. And this is good too, because black is saying, okay, even if you can connect under, you're just connecting on the second line, and it's gote. Whereas some players might see this and say, oh, I can't let white connect, no matter what. So they would play some move here, and then now they're a move behind in the fight. So it's good. It's good fighting technique here by black to just kind of let white connect. So I jump out, and I don't like this jump out now, because now it's a lot harder for me to attack the left side, and also kind of like how black going here, it's hard to see the value in these stones when I'm strong on the left. It's hard to see the value in this stone. If I don't get a good attack on these 3 stones, this stone here at g8 is just going to be dame. And I think if black plays some move out like this, yeah, some move like this to try to surround white, I'm not seeing the value at g8. So once again, I think I need to come out this direction. And if black wants to connect somehow, because black, while we were talking about this shape kind of working in a lot of cases, with this oji, this double peep oji, black probably has to play a move more akin to this, diagonal or knight's move, meaning I don't need to cut immediately. It's a weakness that'll always be there. And again, I can get white's dream come true with when black kicks and plays low, is getting this shoulder hit after the 2-space jump. But I jump out, black goes here, and that's okay. Again, I would prefer this one, but this one is not that bad. But then I can jump out, and black plays there, yes, and I actually commented to my student during the game, like, yes. Because I remember us talking about this at our last lesson before this game about, yeah, you need to get this move. And they did, so yeah, good job. But then white can go here. So now it's about black finding a good move here. And there are ways to handle this for black. The way they played would work. Them going here, though, not so much. If they simply, again, just be a little patient and just extend here, they're going to be okay. If bump, we can play kind of table shape there. Because as long as we're saving the tail, or saving the important stones, like, it's okay if white's able to capture a few stones. So if this happens, I'd probably still bump, although maybe not, because bumping actually forces black to, again, look at this shape. We have G16, F12, that's the 3-space extension. That means F14 is very dangerous. So maybe I don't even want to make this exchange, right? I'd have to maybe just jump. But now when black turns, again, now black's out. So that's why I think instead of directly going here, I should really try to help my group first. Maybe play, or my upper left group first, maybe play here. See how black's going to play. If black's going to just connect, then okay, I can go elsewhere, right? And leave this aji later. But if black continues to make every stone important, well, now when I help my stones here, it means now black's a move behind. There's more aji if I try to cut here, or black's even heavier. So yeah, black will spend a move to connect, and then I'll be able to help my left side stones there. So you could see, and this is true for a lot of Go. So far, this game is all about timing, and both players are kind of missing the timing on a lot of moves, where white needs to help first, or black needs to answer first, or black needs to play here first. So it's very interesting, and this really highlights the fact of, like in the opening, yes, there's a lot of playable moves. But once you move into the early middle game, or maybe late opening to early middle game, one move differences can decide a lot. And unless you're playing Joseki's like, the Flying Knife or the Avalanche, games aren't won or lost in the opening most of the time, especially at the amateur level. And so games are often won or lost in the middle game. And we are really seeing it now highlighted in this game. And you can see whether it's 9Q or 6 Dan, it's the mistakes of one move differences happen at all levels. So, yeah. So if black had simply extended here, there's no real good way for white to play here. Because if I hane, black can just cut. And yeah, even if black can stand up here, or white can stand up here, it's not super clean cut on if this is going to benefit white. Because even though white can technically surround, with moves like this being sente, right, you can see white actually gets very over-concentrated by capturing the 3 stones. So yeah, it's not like actually white wants to capture those. And I guess white maybe can play here to surround it a little nicer. But thing is, though, black can simply just block here even. And again, the key is we're keeping this side separated. So yeah, but black cuts. And if I had simply gone here, again, black extends, I connect. Remember, even though I played b10, I got black to respond at f10. So now it's slightly bigger. b10 is now not a wasted move. And if this had happened, it's like white basically has the left side, especially with this cut here. It's not like black can be very aggressive here. Because when I cut here, there's a ladder immediately. So yeah, it would be pretty bad for black. And black can't even like give up the stone because even after this, there's some weakness. Although even this, I guess, does have potential for black. But again, as long as white prioritizes what's important, like this is a good result for whites compared to what happens in the game, that is. Black connects, but with dame, and white gets some central stones that are very effective. So yeah, and even black's not fully connected yet either, where if black does something else, hane, and to play here, starts to get scary for black. And maybe white can even do that immediately. Yeah, it's very... fighting is so particular. It's so granular. So, yes. Just by missing 1 or 2 moves, that's all it takes. So I play here so that I was really prioritizing good shape, but again, this is away from what's important. Black just gives up those stones and goes after the upper left. And you can see I have to make some pretty bad exchanges, like this one, to still come out. So here, this is a very nice sequence to know of what stones are valuable. So black should play here, because in the game, black just pushes and pushes and pushes and blocks, right? And so black just kind of forced white to cut them. Now, you can see white is still weak, so it's not like black's not putting any pressure on white, but instead, black should really try to play a little lighter, and by that, black should play here. It means now if white pushes, you can just block. You can just block. And if white pushes here and cuts, well, first thing, you could technically fight this, I think, because if white goes here, you have time to make white's shape very uncomfortable. But even better than that, you can just give up that 1 stone. And this is what I mean by evaluating stones. J14 is not a valuable stone anymore if something like this were to happen. So yeah, and there are other moves white can play, but even if white plays here and we just stand up, it is ever so slightly better because we're not forcing white to push directly through our 1 space jump we had. We made white directly play through G16 and at the time J16. But even this, I think you can just play here. Because if white blocks, you can, or white hanes, you can cut. Even white gets this Atari, there's a weakness here. And when you extend here, you can connect anytime at H18 or surround these, and the center's weak, so yeah. Don't push from behind, I guess, is the main rule here. Even you could go from this direction and let white make exchanges like this. Push down, okay. And then play here. This is a very vital point to get. Black had, maybe here, black could play exchanges like this to really see what white values. It feels like white has to play here, which means white has to answer this too. And now black is much stronger. Much, much stronger here. When white's able to play here, yeah, it really hurts black's shape because not only is it peeping at F11, but it's also looking at this dog face. That was always a weakness once white played B10. So black fixes, and then I'm able to connect under. So Yeah, but black has sente, and black goes here. So if we disregard everything on the board, this move is fine. But remember, white is fully alive on the left. Black is fully alive on the lower left. So this is almost a kind of dry area on the board. There's not really that much going on. Because what that means is this move sente for black? No, because white's alive. If white wasn't alive and this is sente, it's very big. But since it's not sente, it's not that big. But white getting it, if we go elsewhere, is also not sente. While we can block here, and again, because of our stones nearby, we're able to connect somehow, or capture somehow, I mean. We could also just leave it, because white's just playing on the second line. It could be bigger to maybe Hane here and connect like this. Right now, all of a sudden, the center is cut off. Maybe better to fix like that, but yeah, it's not that big. So to evaluate, especially in a fight or in the middle game, when again, one move's differences decide a lot, you have to evaluate, is this move sente or gote, and for who? Because again, if a move is sente for your opponent, but gote for you, sometimes it is worth it to take the gote to get rid of your opponent's sente. But if both moves are sente or gote, I mean, for both sides, those are the best moves to forget about. Because it means if my opponent does it, I'll be happy. And if I do it, then my opponent's happy. So the board has changed now. I have now started to, or at least, somewhat connected my group. And black has isolated the corner. So as soon as black goes here, I peep in the corner just to see how black's going to play. Black plays here, which again, it's an okay move, but it does hinder the corner a little bit. Sometimes it's good to make this Hane. I'm not sure in this case, though. Hane. And I think here, I really should just descend here. There is still a lot of Aji in the corner, and I'm not going to have any weaknesses in my shape. Whereas in the game, I could have had a lot of weaknesses in the shape. Even when black goes here, there's still a lot of Aji there. But in the spirit of handicap go, I blocked in the corner, played there, and cut. Once again, if I simply just do this, I am okay. There's actually no way for black to separate these either. But when I cut, while it does help the corner, this move really hurts the connection of white's shape here. Which could mean bad things for white's group here. Black Hane is a good move. And then black connects, and I connect. And then black goes there, and then I play here. So black had a chance here when white connects to play this. And yeah, it's not only threatening to separate these stones, but also separate these stones. So if I connect, black simply just bumps here, or even better, just Hane. And it's going to be a semi-eye, but black will most likely be able to win this, because not only does white need to make sure this group has enough liberties, but the corner does as well. So it's like two not alive groups versus one not alive group. So yeah. But black said, okay, I'll let you connect if I can connect. So I connected. And then black connected. But then white has sente. So now, after we've played every single move on the left side of the board, it's time to remember the right side exists. And black has huge thickness here, right? So black wants to force white in that space. But instead, black plays here. So this is very over-concentrated. Very, very over-concentrated. Black needs to force white to play in that direction. Yeah, black even kick and jump, or even in some cases you can play this down. When you are so strong up top, or when you have strength in general, that's when you can kind of play a little more aggressive, a little more, in a lot of cases might be overplaying, but when you have thickness, and again, thickness doesn't just mean you have stones in this facing the center. Thickness depends on how many weaknesses are in that group, or in that set of stones. Like before AIs, the old 3-3, early 3-3 Joseki, or just 3-3 Joseki in general, was considered strength. But AI showed, because there's peeps there, it's actually not as strong as we once thought. But this has zero weaknesses to look at. You can't peep at it. You can't threaten it. It has a lot of liberties. It has eyes. So this is indestructible, basically. So this is the time to really, you want to goad white into playing in here. Make it so big that white has to play something there eventually. So I think kick into playing here is possible. Even if you do this one, you're forcing white to get heavier on this side. So if white wants to play up top, then white's giving up 2 stones now. But when you just play here, where do you think white goes? If you had to guess where white goes, where would you think white would go? If you guess 3-3, you are correct. And it's because if black blocks in this direction, N16's in a very over-concentrated spot. It's like when I played B10. Once I played B10, I made the left side smaller. When black played N16, black made the top side smaller. So black smartly blocks this way, which makes sense. And so here, where do you think black should go? If the top side is small, where should black go? Black should play something on the right side or something on the lower side. Something in the center to attack the 3. But black plays here. Which again, in normal circumstances, this is a very, very honte move. It's a very good move. But it's just so over-concentrated. Black has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll count this as a spot. 6, 7 high wall. It goes to the 8th line on this board. And black has extended 2. Black has only extended 2. So that's very over-concentrated. So yeah, the right side's now what's big. So yeah, it's a nice looking move, but directional wise, it's not good. So white hanes, of course, to poke at the shape here. Like it would be better for black to just descend here, force white to maybe make some moves here. And now white doesn't make that hane exchange. And then we do something else. What if we play something like this? This is possible, right? Really expanding the right side now, playing the corner, something. But black took a smaller, black gave up the corner, took a smaller top, and let white get another move on the right side first. So hane, now black has to decide, do I play here, which they do in the game, or do I connect and let this move? So black goes here, and then black wedges. Where do you think white goes here? If you were white, would you Atari underneath or Atari on top? What would you do? Well, if you guessed neither, you were correct. And this is the perfect example of save sente moves until you know which one you want. So right now I go here. Because right now, depending on how I play here, will affect how black plays on the right side. So since I can go here anytime in sente and I can go here anytime in sente, I can save it. Because if black just plays something on the right side, once again, that's very over-concentrated. It's very small. So I can leave it. And depending on how black plays, then I can decide what I want. So black kicks, and stand up. When black goes down, so now I stand up. I didn't even end up Atarying. So yeah, then black comes down. This is possible, but remember, black kicked, made me stronger, left a weakness at R5, and then black played Q2. Black should, on this move, use Q2. And what does that mean? Black should play M3. Black should play M3. This is using the fact that I've played Q2 to hurt the bottom side. Because you're not only looking to cut here, but you're looking to connect underneath or on top. So white just has too many weaknesses here. It means if I play this move to try to separate, I can cut. And even if I can play moves like this, black can play under. Black is using Q2 to connect back to the corner. Again, white can't cut because white has too many weaknesses here. So yeah, would be the time to come in. And this is very important. When black played here, black was probably just thinking, okay, let me help my corner. But a lot of times moves have more than one reason or more than one value. Yeah. And whether you know it or not, or whether it happened by chance or just because of rules of Go, a lot of times moves have more than one meaning. So you just got to be able to find it and be diligent enough to look out for them. Black comes down. Black coming down is a possibility, but but I can cut. Black goes here. Yeah, no reason to play that because you can still stand up and be okay here. So, yeah. So that, like I've already fixed S12 now, like this cut here. Whereas you stand up, I haven't fixed it yet. But now since this stone's an Atari, it's already fixed, so I peep here. And black connects, and again, this is very complicated, but I'll just say black played in a very reasonable way to just allow white to connect. And connect. And then black fixed here, which on the surface looks just fine, but it'd be better to fix something like this. Why? Because this actually leaves Aji here. And so I wedge, and then cut. And if black had taken, I can capture here. But white actually made a big mistake here. And it's following should be one of the first proverbs you learn, especially when you're trying to get better at fighting, which is cut on the side you don't want. So I want to capture these 2 stones or separate these 2 stones. So I should cut on this side. I actually don't want these 3 stones, but I need to use this cut. And the reasoning is, if black saves the 3, well, now I'm actually going to properly separate those stones. This should be good for white. But if black keeps them connected, regardless of how black plays, whether black plays here and lets me Atari, or just connects, right? Black's shape is much worse in either scenario compared to what should have happened in the game. Where black takes, I cut, black has a ponuki. And it means when black surrounds here, black is infinitely stronger now. So I should cut on the side I don't want. So yeah, even though this is technically more stones, these 3 stones are less valuable. It's not simply about the number of stones you're capturing, it's what they are accomplishing. So that's why black should just connect here, because this does fix weaknesses here. Like if, let's say, black fixed here, it would actually be a similar scenario where a cut here would actually make some Aji work in the corner here. Maybe, yeah, wedge like this. Yeah, white would be able to reduce the corner a lot. If you imagine something like this, even black takes, Atari, Atari, fix. Yeah, it's a huge reduction, right? So there is Aji there that you want to fix, but yeah, black should fix by going here. But all black needed to do was take here. But sometimes we try to get fancy and it comes back to bite us. Black goes here and allows me to capture. And even if black had gone here, I don't want to fight this ko. It's a big ko I would take, and then black can still do something on the right side. But black extends here, which basically means black could have made a ponuki in sente, but instead black lets me capture in gote. So yeah, I'm not sure what black was thinking here. This is a very good result for white. Then I can fix. The point of this fix is there is Aji if I do something else of Haneing here. Because this is an Atari, there's really bad Aji here. So if I clamp though, it means if black does the same thing, I'm able to just capture now. Whereas before it would have been some sort of ko like this. So I was preparing to deal with this ko, whereas like this, and black does it, now it's just captured. So black goes here, this is fine, it's on the sector line, but all black needs to do is do this. All right? Even this is fine, and then just Hane. But black goes here. And I always say, you need to be a stubborn Go player. So this does threaten J3. But at the next possible chance, black should play J3. You have to get your use out of F2. Otherwise, in the middle of a fight, you just played away. And so you'll notice black never gets a move on the bottom. Even though black allowed me to separate an 11. But again, I think it's just big enough just to jump here. And yeah, just save the stone. There's no reason to even play elsewhere. The black plays there. Then I get the Atari. Yep. So yeah, this whole, by the way, this whole upper left, if you've been eyeing it at all, can connect. Even though normally it's just a dead shape, white can connect here, no matter how black plays. If you connect, I can Atari and connect under, like so. There's really nothing else. You can just connect. I just do this. There's not even really a ko. Technically, I guess there's a ko, but it's quite a big ko when this is the kind of result that'll happen. So yeah, black just takes and lets me capture. So again, black has sente. And this is important to get, but black needs to get J2 to make F2 worth it. Black Hanes, that's fine. And now, how would you play as black in the center there? And again, without much thought, I would simply just connect here. Leave no weaknesses. But black goes here. And so sometimes trying to do too much can backfire. And this is where Go is so fascinating, where all the time I say, you got to try to be efficient. Right? The moves that have more than one meaning are better than moves that have just one meaning. But in this case, because there's a cut here, it's better to just fix the cut. Now, to black's credit, if black had gone here when I cut, because in the game, black connected, but if black had gone here, this actually works. Even though I can capture, black is still connected. There's no way for me to separate. By Haneing here, this Atari means black is still connected. So to black's credit, this move can work. Now, it is important to note that this stone was an important stone in white's liberties here. Look how all of this set of 2 stones have 3 or 4 liberties with very glaring cuts. So even doing this, I would not advise, because this is an important stone to the liberties here. But when black connects, I'm just able to surround. Yeah. And black tries to throw in, and something tries to work here, but nothing quite works. And once again, black connects here. Not the smallest move, or not the biggest move, but it's sizable. But I'm able to fix. So again, look all the way back. Black ignored what was going on. Black could have even done it here. Do it here. Keep the Aji on the right side there. Don't do anything there. But black threw in there, which was right direction, but didn't continue. And then didn't even get the response to their F2 move, which does work. Like cutting here does work. I can't Atari this way because Atari and then turn. Even though it's 3 liberties to 4, black can gain more liberties than white here. So if I Atari down, yeah, I guess if Atari down, I looked at this move, but the thing is, again, we can use moves that are on the board. We can play moves like M2. So it means actually, I guess maybe cut doesn't work directly, but M2 directly works to threaten here. Maybe cutting first is better and descend and then play M2. Yeah, this would be nice. This would be nice for black. If I separate, yeah, now black would have enough liberties. So I have to probably just descend, but then black can connect here. Start to connect at least. Maybe like this, yeah. Okay, black can connect like this. This would be a nice endgame. But yeah, black never got the response. And I guess if this move really does, because I thought this move worked here, or black cutting here. And like, oh, okay, you can at least capture the 2. Because that's what it looks like it's doing. But if it just doesn't work, then that means even F2 was not as good as even I initially thought. So, because you can just monkey jump anyway. So it's not like getting the second line diagonal there is that important. But yeah, black never got a response at least. But yeah, black can still monkey jump. I just go elsewhere. And then again, black never got the response to B3 either. Black plays diagonal. And we play some moves. And then here, black actually ran out of time. But white is definitely leading this game at this point. After the top side gets reduced, the right side gets surrounded, and white saved the upper left. So again, I think black did very well in the opening. And it shows that like even at 6-down level, we make mistakes too. We're humans too. And in a fight, a complicated fight, one misstep can swing the game to one side's favor. So yeah, I guess just to illustrate, games aren't won or lost in the opening usually. It's all about the fighting in the middle game. So yeah, if you're a slow player in the opening, play a little quicker in the opening so you have a lot of time in the middle game. But yeah, pretty overall pretty good game for, again, if you consider 9Q for 6-down with only 6 stones. Black was in this for a while, so black did a very good job, all things considering. So yeah. If you have any questions about this game, please let me know in the comment sections below, and I'll see you all in the next video.